Good morning, everyone. Please have a seat. So we're going to begin today with a tradition that has been going for a long time at Queen Margaret School, and it is pinning heritage students with the heritage pin. So I'm going to invite Mr. Robertson up, the head of school, to read an introduction about heritage pins and then reveal who is going to be pinned this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So connecting you with QMS's past is a very important task that we have to do every year, and are delighted to do, actually, because we need to know where we came from, and keeping those connections strong is really important. Heritage pins are presented to students at Queen Margaret School who had a close relative from a different generation attend the school. In recognising our heritage pin recipients, we acknowledge that one of the greatest legacies that our school can claim is that we are a school of choice for families throughout generations. So that's the citation. And I'm delighted to invite an alum and parent, Ms. Hilary Nixon, forward to do the pinning ceremony with me. Hilary attended QMS for grades 5 through 10 from 1981 to 1986. Is that right?
That is correct.
We got that right.
Aging myself a bit.
Yeah, there we go. So our first heritage pin goes to Alice Elliott. Alice's great-aunt, Marlon Mipple Beattie, attended QMS from 1956 to 1964. So Alice, would you come up, please? So, Maria Weber, Mariel's mother, Regina, attended grade 7 here at QMS in 1991-92. In addition, her sister, Sabina, attended QMS for grade 9 in 2021-22. Mariel, come up, please. Mariel. So let's go move over a wee bit. You go in the middle. There we go.
Perfect.
And Darwin Clark. Darwin's mother, Hilary, attended QMS, as I said, for grades 5 through 10 from 1981 to 1986. Her mother also sat on the Overseas Old Margaretian Association, UMA, board for a number of years, ensuring that the school's history and ties to alumni stay strong. There we go. Darwin Clark, would you come forward and get your mum to present you? Okay, there we go. Photo, Darwin.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well done. Thanks. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Theo Holland forward. He's put together a presentation as the sort of final in our series of our Men's Health Month presentations, and this one is to do with the school's motto, Servite, Fortiter. Please welcome Mr. Holland.
Good morning, everyone. So today I wanted to talk to you about our school motto, Servite Fortiter, which means serve ye bravely. And so ties nicely with the heritage pinning this morning and the school song. I thought it was a fitting kind of final end to our Men's Health Month. So we're going to explore today how we can serve bravely, not for personal recognition or gain, but for the value of serving itself. So how might we serve kindly and authentically? So as we continue through Men's Health Month, let's have a quick refresher on tonic masculinity. So this is the idea that encourages a healthier, more balanced view of masculinity. One that emphasizes service, kindness, strength, offered up willingly and without condition. A masculinity that allows us to recognize our limits, reach out for support when we need it, and gives us permission to rely on others. It's about being a role model who serves without expecting anything in return, just because service is the right thing to do. Being a role model in tonic masculinity involves engaging in acts of service, not for personal gain, but for the good of others. It means to serve for the sake of serving. It also means serving within our limits. If we are to do this in a way that is gracious and kind, it'll be helpful to look at how gendered perceptions of service can help clarify our understanding. Let's take a look at service through a gendered lens. So traditionally, service performed by women, things like caregiving, nurturing, teaching, are often seen as inherently valuable. Society recognizes the worth of these roles without always tying them to external achievements. Though the work can often be invisible, overlooked, or minimized, it is importantly seen as valuable, not for the outcomes it produces, but rather as inherently valuable for its own sake. Conversely, when men perform acts of service, they're often associated with things like ambition, status, reward, or success. For example, we celebrate men for their leadership positions, but sometimes overlook their quiet, selfless acts. We tend to celebrate achievements like financial success or status with men more than we celebrate the quiet acts of service that tons of men engage in every day because it aligns with their values. We celebrate the Musks and the Bezos of the world, and not usually the garbage men, ditch diggers, dutiful fathers, and community contributors. We sometimes value the car and the bank account more than the hours spent quietly supporting those in need. We also tend to value self-sacrifice in men that is unhealthy or unsustainable, rather than acknowledging that we all have limits. And serving kindly means serving honestly. Serving honestly means making sure that we have the capacity to take on whatever the challenge might be. Furthermore, it is imperative that we are capable of asking for help, receiving help, and getting support when we need it. So this creates a tension. We're caught between ideas. We have one foot in a highly gendered view of the world, one that has a different sense of service for men and women, where service for men has been linked to results at all costs, and one that we're trying to make space for a degendered and more nuanced application of service. How do we reconcile this? Can we find a middle ground where both the journey and the destination matter? The approach that I'm going to propose here is and thinking. Instead of choosing between valuing service or valuing outcomes, we can embrace both. We do not need to accept that the ends justify the means. Instead, we can find meaning in both the service and the impact it creates. We can celebrate success and kind character. We can act in alignment with our values and be proud of what we achieve, and be okay if we are not successful in our ambitions, which inevitably we won't be many times. We can do our best, we can reach our limits, we can ask for help, rest, and try again, seeing the value in the motivation in the pursuit. We might imagine service like an apple tree. The tree is valuable not only for the fruit it provides, but also for the shade, oxygen, and beauty it brings, even when it's not in season. We can see that the tree is valuable for what it is and for what it contributes, and we can acknowledge that there is something wonderful when it also provides a great bounty of tasty fruit. It is also valuable in the years where the harvest might be smaller. The great Carl Rogers once said, "The good life is a process, not a state of being. It is a direction, not a destination." So when we orient ourselves towards service for its own sake, we are able to find success in the doing, in the direction we decide for ourselves. We can celebrate when we are successful, but we are not dependent on the getting there to know that we have done the right thing. So in the school community, I want you to ask yourselves, how do we recognize service? How can we make space to appreciate acts of kindness and bravery for their own sake, while also celebrating their outcomes? How can we create a culture that values service for its inherent goodness, beyond grades, achievements, service hours, or recognition? Can we accept that learning is good for its own sake, and also that grades matter? Can we learn to be of service because it is a good thing and also receive service hours, without allowing ourselves to focus only or too much on these symbols of recognition? How might you serve, and how do others serve you? The question I want you all to ask yourself is, would you still engage in these acts of service if no one was watching? Arthur Ashe once said, success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome. It is in the practice of being of service, even when it's hard, sometimes when it is thankless, that we develop the kind of character that defines us. We may be celebrated for our accomplishments, but we are known for our character. When each of you leaves here, people will not remember the grades you received on your math test, or how you played in such and such a game. They will not remember that you were the top of your class on a certain assignment, or that you outperformed your peers on an essay. They will, however, remember how you treated people, how you showed up, and the kind of person you demonstrated that you were over and over, not by your successes, but by living to your values. So to truly live out Servite Fortiter, we should serve bravely, understanding that the journey, the act of service itself, can be as meaningful as the destination, and is if we simply allow for more "and" thinking in our lives. Let's keep that in mind as we move forward together. I invite everyone to think of the ways that they might combine their ambitions and their drive with honesty, kindness, and dedication. There are important times to recognize the achievements of ourselves, our peers, and members of our community. But this is not the only reason that we act in service of others. I encourage all of you to reflect on this today as we continue to find ways to serve bravely. And so I'd like to invite Jason Chang up to give a few reflections on his experience with service here at the school. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jason, and today I have the privilege of reflecting upon my interactions with service in my past 3 years here, whether it be in the student council, in my pastoral roles, or as the head of the prefect council. From my experience, I realized that there are 3 levels to the act of service. The first is to serve, the second is to collaborate, and the third is to initiate. Serving is undeniably one of the most admirable actions you can take, whether it's helping out with a friend's project or volunteering at a bake sale. Serving fosters a sense of volunteerism. Moving up the ladder of service, we start to collaborate. We join councils and clubs, and through uniting efforts, we achieve the ultimate goals and projects that will be impossible to achieve alone. The last level, possibly the most rewarding, that comes with its own challenges, is to initiate. Now, this is getting a little harder because you are essentially starting from scratch. Yet, this is where you can start to take on passion projects, initiate campaigns and events, and improve upon the well-being of the student body. We've done that through the lunch surveys of the student council and the upcoming dance hosted by the prefect council. Take SIFA, the Cowichan Youth Festival of the Arts, for example, an art extravaganza last year that was initiated and ran by QMS students, who through the act of collaboration and service between 50 individuals, advocated for the art scene at QMS and in our local communities. With all of this being said, take on all service opportunities that come your way, go sign up to volunteer for the winter market sale that's coming up, or join a festival committee as a captain for the upcoming SIFA in February. I encourage you all to be of service and be the change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Mr. Holland. Both of you, lots of thought-provoking and really, really valid ideas there this morning. That typifies how the vision that we have for what happens in these gatherings. I have to say that. I have to emphasize that, because what we're trying to do is provide you with opportunities. Opportunities to think, opportunities to maybe do something, opportunities to look at things in a different way. That's what these gatherings are all about. And then it's also all about pulling us all together in the common goal and embracing that common goal. That common goal that this is not just any old school, right? This is a school that really commits to its values. A school that identifies its values and then really commits to them every day. Not just once in a while, but every day. That great historical figure that many of you may have encountered from his I Have a Dream speech, Martin Luther King, who embodied service in lots of ways, said, "Life's most pressing and urgent question is always, what are you doing for others?" So that reinforces what you've heard this morning, and I leave that with you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I'll invite our guests to